this wonderful woman in front of me. This is Kia. All of you guys have seen her in our groups, and now you get to see her beautiful face. And she is going to inspire and motivate you guys today. If you haven't heard her speak before, her journey, her story is amazing. And she's going to talk to you today about her wins. She'll talk to you a little bit about her struggles, as well as her mindset that got her to losing 50 pounds in her first 90 days. So I'm going to repeat that 50 pounds in her first 90 days. And I really want you guys to hear and understand she did this with all at home workouts. And she's now down well over 70 pounds. I don't remember exactly what it is, Kia, but she's continued to maintain this. So she'll talk about her mindset that keeps her in this goal-orientated state and continuing to be successful. So let's drop some fire in the comments for Kia, and I'm going to turn it over to her right now.
Hi, guys. So again, my name is Kia. I'm 33. I'll be 34 at the end of the week. And let's see, I live in the Seattle area, and I am a single mom of 5, ranging in ages from 4 to 11. And I think, I tried to think of how I got to where I wanted to lose weight and know that I knew that I had to do something. And I think it was just probably having kids back to back, 5 over 7 years, and what that does to your body, and also being in a marriage that was not healthy and having that fall apart, and I think a lot of bad eating habits, and of sort of a low energy lifestyle. And I think those are the things that sort of got me to 264 pounds last April. And I just realized that I really needed help. I needed accountability. And I thought, gosh, there's accountability for, people who struggle with alcoholism and all sorts of things that it's okay to say, I need help. I can't do this on my own. So I finally realized, okay, I think it's okay for me to say, okay, with this, I need help. I can't do it on my own. I need to find somebody who knows better than I do. So I had a lot of hip pain, back pain. I couldn't stand for very long without my feet hurting me horribly. I was starting to have some breathing problems, and, only being in my early 30s, I thought, this is wild. I cannot live like this. And I couldn't even chase my kids around the yard. I couldn't play with them. I didn't have the energy. And so I found Jules and was so grateful, and just realized that I had to do something drastic. And I remember, I'm sure you've all heard a quote that says, if you want to live like no one else, I think is how it goes, then you have to live like no one else. You have to make choices like no one else. And so I started working with Jules. It's been almost a year. And I just told her, when she asked me why, I said, I really want to be a healthy, fit role model for my kids. I don't want them to grow up watching me eat poorly, make bad decisions, and not take care of our body, as that is one thing that we can totally have control over, is what we put into our body, and how we take care of ourselves. So I just decided that that's what I was going to do. So I started with the meal plans, and I'm sure you all know the meal plans. You got to do your water, you got to do your workouts. And the meal plans were hard. It was hard. It was a big change. It was a total lifestyle change, and all at once. But I just decided that I was at this point paying for this, so it would be doing myself a disservice to.
And can I pause you for a minute?
Yeah.
You had said something and once before that like shocked me. Like, was it easy for you to reach out in the first time? Like the very first time when you made the decision to like say, okay, I press play, basically. Like, okay, this is gonna happen. How did that feel for you?
I think I had to be very honest with myself and very honest with you. And, even in the group, you just have to be honest with where you're at. It means that comes across in, posting the photos of yourself every week. And it's just a lot of things that you can't hide from, logging your meals and all these things, but coming into it, being completely honest, like this is where I'm at. And that is very hard. It is very hard to say, this is where I'm at, and I desperately need help. And to furthermore commit, to make that big commitment and to know all of that, what that entails. That entails a total lifestyle change.
Yeah, guys, draw fire for her. This is good. I think they're all like cheering you on. Yes.
Yeah. So it was really hard. Yes. And the first couple of weeks, probably 2 or 3 weeks, were very hard. It's hard to get into this routine of, eating the same things every day and making sure you get that gallon of water in, and the exercise. I remember so many days early on just laying on the floor crying because I could not get up from a push-up. And I thought, all right, I can't do this push-up, but I'm just going to do my best and hope that Jules is right and it will get a little bit easier. And she was right. I could slowly, I think I could push myself for, it was like 3 weeks, 21 days. I thought if I can just push myself for that long, really hard, and see if what Jules says is true, like I will have some sort of change and I will be a little stronger, then maybe I can push myself a little bit more. So I did hardcore for that 3 weeks. I did not mess up. I ate everything on the meal plan. I did all of the workouts, and there were a few things that happened in that first few weeks that, maybe I didn't make great choices, such as I would put off my workouts until the end of the day. And, thing after thing came up and I realized, oh, shoot, it's 9:30. I haven't done my workout. But I had promised myself I was going to at least stick with this for that bit of time. And so you best believe at 10:30, I was still doing that workout because I knew if I couldn't make this commitment, and under accountability and having spent my hard-earned money, then I didn't think I could do it. So I knew that this was the time. And I don't recommend drinking all of your water at 10 p.m. But hey, if you have to push yourself and keep that commitment, if that's what it means, if you do it, it probably will only happen to you once or twice before you realize, okay, I got to get my water in before, kind of.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just push pause on you again. Guys, are you hearing what she said? Like, I just want to like reiterate that. And if you really heard it, I just want you to say, I heard it in the comments. She committed to 21 days, 21 days to create a habit. And she committed to herself. So what she's saying, what you're hearing her say is if she didn't get her workout in by 9:00 at night, she then was doing her workout at 9:00 at night. There weren't any excuses, were there?
Nope.
She did not let herself off. Yep, she did not let herself off the hook. And I need you to know I did not know this till the first time she did a testimonial video with me. And by the way, guys, she's in my YouTube channel under testimonials. You should really listen to it. It's super powerful. It's almost an hour long. She didn't get her water in, guys. She was drinking it. Like, that's how committed she was. So, again, guys, if you heard that, you type in here, you heard it. And I mean, all of you guys that are in here, like, that is huge. That right there is what is part of the reason that got her to losing 50 pounds in the first 90 days. Period. Go ahead, girl. I just needed to make sure that that was heard. But you
Yeah,
had a few little stumbles, though. I remember you
I
had me
did.
cracking up once, like when you were mimicking me or what you thought I was going to say one time, and I didn't say exactly what you thought I was going to say.
I knew after I had tried to give excuses a few times of I can't eat this, or I am so sick of, I think it was salmon. I'm like, I'm so sick of salmon. I don't want to eat it anymore. After giving excuses a few times, I realized that Jules is not going to let me get away with it, and that she's going to call me out on my excuses. So she certainly, will help you and hear you, but also save the excuses. Just no.
But you still your salmon, though.
Yeah, you did. Yes. After it was like, okay, like, can you handle it for a couple of weeks? Yes, I can. I will live. And then when I brought it up again, it was like, okay, can we please not do the salmon? Then yes, Jules changed it for me. So that was great. I think after she saw my commitment and like, okay, I'm not complaining about everything now, then, she changed it for me. But yeah, I think it was just every day learning. I learned quickly how to portion my water so that I am getting it in before the evening. I learned that I needed to start each day fresh. Even if I did make a mistake, I messed up, I knew that I have tomorrow. I will start fresh. I'm not going to just say, oh, well, screw it. I'm going to eat everything in the fridge because I messed up today. So what does it matter? I would move on to not only the next day, but even the next meal. Just move on to the next meal, and strive for that
Gave
perfection.
yourself grace.
Yeah. You got to give yourself some grace.
I mean, there was the time, I think I remember too. I think one of the ones that you panicked, like when you left without your meals. I think you
Yes,
went to
that was the first couple of weeks. I had a birthday party to go to, and I thought, okay, I'm going to eat now. I'll stay at the birthday party for an hour, come back home, and that will be my next meal time. Well, I was at the birthday party for like 6 hours, like so long. And I remember the first thing that went wrong was I walked in the door, and the host handed me this giant margarita. And I knew I wasn't supposed to drink it. And it's just that moment of trying to figure out, what am I going to do? Like, am I committed to this more than I am concerned about being embarrassed because I can't really have this? It's not on my meal plan. So I took a sip and thanked her and passed it to someone else, and it was fine. But I also quickly was starving because I did not pack my meals. I didn't prepare. And so I didn't because I knew that I thought that I would be back home, but I also was really embarrassed at the prospect of packing my food and bringing it to someone's house, or just having my friends see that I was eating something different. And I talked to Jules about it, and, she was like, well, kind of this, like, back to, well, if you want these results, you got to follow the meal plan. If you want to, have the fit, healthy body that you want, you have to, change your lifestyle. So I just, next time, and it's happened a ton since, where I have to eat something different or I bring my own food, and it really is okay. I think most of us that will find that your friends, family are supportive of you. And if they're not, then maybe it's an issue with them, not with you. And so, but I have found a lot of support in my friends. I even have a couple of friends who always have the protein that I like in their pantry, or the coffee creamer that I can have, or something that I can have if I'm at their house. And so it's really nice to be supported in that way. But it's because I was brave and was like, hey, this is what I'm doing for myself, and I'm gonna, make sure I pack my foods, and I'm serious about this. And then I also realized that I needed to get shit done early. So if you can get it done early, figure out, when you're going to have that water. Really try to plan your day. I know I'm going to be doing XYZ today, and it's going to take about this long. So let me pack my food, or make sure I always have this just in case of emergency. I always have like a little thing of peanut butter or protein or something just in case. You never know. And so that really helps. And eating all this food, I know that it was a struggle at first. I thought, oh my gosh, how can I lose weight while eating all this food? How can I even eat all this food? But it didn't take long before doing the workouts, before I think my metabolism got going fast enough to where you can eat all the food. You feel like, oh, this is a good amount of food. And so I learned eat all the food. And then I'm not moody and very likely to fail and eat something that I shouldn't eat. And if I do feel hungry, Jules would tell me, drink some water. You get some water in you. So I think that that has really helped. And I'm trying to think of what else.
Talk a little bit about like, so you talked about your wins, your struggles, a little bit about like, and you've leaned into it a little bit. Like, what's a lot of the things that went through your mind? What's the mindset? What are some of the rituals that you would go through to keep, because what you did wasn't easy. What everybody's in here doing, it's not easy as much as we'd like to say it's doable. Everybody can do it. But the hard part is up here, isn't it? The
It
body.
definitely,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
because we're capable of doing all of this. Our body is, even you said like the workouts were hard in the beginning, but like, can I ask you how many push-ups you do now?
I can do 20 now. It's
Gosh,
not
she
a
couldn't
ton,
even do one. She's
but
on the floor
I
crying.
couldn't do one.
And I think also like you could barely run like and how you I don't
I
remember
could
what
run initially for, I think it was 27 seconds before
and
I
now how far
could
do you run?
not run. And the other day, I go and run down at the waterfront. I did one of our 20-minute runs. I ran 20 minutes. And then I have a turnaround point where I usually walk back. And I turned around and ran all the way back. I just
Damn.
thought, oh, I can do this. And I never thought that that would be the case. So I think it is slow and steady wins the race. Do everything that you should be doing every day for, a small period of time, like that 21 days, because that's how long it takes to make a new habit. And that was really helpful for me, just to say, all right, we're not going to worry about like the rest of my life. We're just going to focus on this. And then once I hit that goal, then the weight loss and the inches and the strength that I had gained carried me through to the next little while. And then every week that is pushed me further. Okay, I lost this. Okay, I can do, 10 push-ups this week instead of 8, and do a little bit more next week. And before you know it, I had 30 pounds under my belt, or not under my belt anymore. And then 50 pounds. And now it's close to 75. And so it's just, it's hard, but it is a simple thing. You gotta eat you got to do the water, you got to do the exercise. If you get it done early, then you'll feel great the rest of the day. But also it just leaves you, I think I get all the stuff done early and I feel like, okay, I've got all my water in. Awesome. Like anything I have now is just extra.
Okay, so I like that. So you would celebrate little small wins along the way for yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, celebrate all the little wins.
I'm reminding, didn't you have like sticky notes with certain things around the house too to help you through that 21 days?
Yeah, for sure. I would have my little quotes. And one of them, I think the Jules one was, and she told me after that birthday party, she's like, if you fail to prepare, then prepare to fail. And so I would have that one written down. And my big one when I started was, don't you want to see what happens if you don't give up? Because I have tried dieting so many times. I've tried doing it all by myself and have fallen off the bandwagon and just given up. And so that kind of carried me through the first little while. Is I just wanted to see what would happen if you did everything.
Yeah, that's a good one, guys. Guys, I want you all not to just to give her some fire, but I want you to type in the comments if you're on here. Repeat it, Kia.
I know.
Don't
I just blanked.
Don't you want to see what will happen if you don't give up?
Yes. Yep.
Let's see that in the hashtags, guys. Don't you want to see what will happen if you don't give up?
Mm-hmm.
Guys, y'all should be feeling that one from her.
Yeah.
And I believe there was another one once she hit that 21 days. You told me about that one too. It was something about every time you lost 10 pounds.
Oh, yes. Every time I would get under, at first it was just a small goal. I was at 264. So when I hit 259, I would say, I'm never going back to weighing 260 pounds again. And then the really exciting one was when I hit under 200. When I was at 199, I am never going back to 200 again. And that's been really helpful. And even in that week that followed me hitting 199, I had to work harder. I felt like, because I don't want to go back up. Yeah.
That's powerful. No, that's really powerful, guys. I really hope, again, if you're watching it right now, that's great. If you watch this on replay, let us know, #replay. But also, like, these are really, and that's why I've got you guys writing them down, because here's the thing. If you say it out loud, you write it down, it's more to happen. And that's like, hope you caught what Kia just said. Like, it was more motivating. Like when she said, I'm not going back to 199, she drove harder to make sure she didn't. So when I say to you, and you guys can do this any way you want, but really what Kia is talking about right now, these are affirmations. So you've heard me talk about affirmations. She may not have journaled them or written them down. She may have put them on sticky notes. She may have said them in her head, but these were the things that she did to get this right, to keep this motivated and moving forward. So yeah, absolutely. Drop her some fire.
Yeah. And I think another thing that helped me is making this stuff. Say that again.
Lululemon pants.
Oh, yes. Yes. So when I lost, I think about 20 pounds, a dear friend of mine bought me a pair of Lululemons, and they were probably 3 or 4 sizes too small. I don't know. I put them on and I could barely get them over my butt. But I thought, okay, like, I'm going to fit into these. I'm going to keep losing. I'm going to keep getting stronger, and I will fit into them. And sure enough, after the 90 days, not only did I fit into them, but they were already too big on me. So just a few weeks ago, I actually bought another pair in a size 4. And that was super exciting. And I am not a size 4. I'll put a disclaimer on that, but I will be. And so even though I could barely get them on, I feel like I had to set that new goal for a while, I was telling Jules that I think I maybe got comfortable in my baggy clothes and thought, I'm so skinny. And I would take like little bites here and there. And so I had several weeks where the scale didn't move much and it's kind of disheartening. And that's when I made the decision to, oh my gosh, I need to get that smaller pair of leggings. I need to feel a little uncomfortable again. And so I cannot be stagnant here. I need to keep moving forward because I have a bigger goal in mind. So
no, that's huge. So guys, you know, she just touched on that. You may have like made that might have just slid past you. So she did plateau a little bit over the winter. Probably the first time she's hearing this, but slightly had to do with myself, because you can't steadily lose the amount of weight that she was losing without a little bit of a reverse diet. So we reversed her a little bit for a while, upped her calories, kept her workouts pretty similar. But she started to, you know, we plateaued her for a while. So we left her, you know, where she really kind of was staying the same weight. A reset, if you will. But during that time, which she just said she was starting to do, and I wasn't super picky about it because she was plateauing, is she started to take little nibbles here and there. And she'll be the first. We wound up having to have a little bit of a conversation about it, and she'll be the first one to tell you, like, it wasn't. And you can speak more about this, Kia, but it wasn't easy to backpedal out of that once it started. And really what you heard her say is she had to reset her mind again, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But the biggest piece that you guys should hear, and hopefully you heard out of that, was, again, it came back to her mindset. It came back to the mindset. So because it was okay for the bites, because the scale wasn't moving, she got comfortable. And everybody write this in the comments. You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. I'll repeat that. You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Write that down, guys. I want to see it in the comments. She's mentioned that a few times. She had to get comfortable being uncomfortable doing, because she had a goal to achieve in the beginning with her friends. And then at the end of the day, the ones that loved and supported her, they have her food for her. And then she kind of leveled off for a while, and she just said it again. She had to get comfortable being uncomfortable. She was getting comfortable, which was okay. But she had to admit to me and herself, like, no, I got bigger goals. Like, she kept saying, well, this is where I want to be. But okay, if this is where you want to be, then we've got to do this. Like, the nibbling has to stop, you know? And it took, and I think she'll be the first to say, it took her a few weeks to like really rein that in again. And I'm going to admit that when, as soon as she said in her, I asked her, like I asked many of you, I said, I want a stretch goal from you. I don't want these little baby goals anymore. I want a stretch goal. And I think I gave her a few examples, and she came back the next week with, well, I'm going to fit into these size 4 Lululemons. I'm like, damn, okay. And boom, she just started going to town. So speaking it, guys, into existence, being comfortable, being uncomfortable, it's all up here. And that's really, I think, the message she's trying to drive home. And I'll turn it back over to you, Kia, to see if you got to add to that. But that's, I think, a really big piece of it.
Yeah. And I really appreciated that, you know, with me being honest with Jules and saying, you know, hey, I know that, you know, I've come this far and I've been really strong, but I'm really struggling right now. And she's like, well, that's okay. Like, you have done really well. And if you want to, you know, just kind of be here, then you're doing fine. If you have a bigger goal in mind, though, then she would tell me, let's tighten it up. Let's kind of backpedal and get back to where you were. And it is hard. I don't know if anyone else here has kids. I imagine you have kids and family, and you're cooking for other people, likely, or eating with other people. And it's hard to not nibble my kids' chicken nuggets It looked delicious. But I had told Jules it's hard right now because I have, when I'm making my kids dinner, they get this delicious hot meal, and I'm over here eating cantaloupe and avocado, and she's not doing it for me. And she's like, well, like, why don't you just switch that with, your whatever your hot meal is for the day, and then you're eating with them. And I thought, oh my God, why did I think that? So it's things like little adjustments, and really I'm still eating the exact same amount of food, but it's just like a mind thing. I think it helped just to adjust my food. And so I think it's helped once you can really stick with it and do exactly what you're supposed to do for a little bit, then you can learn how to make adjustments for yourself. When you should be, okay, I need to, drink my water at such and such time so I can get it in. Or, like for me, I need to swap this meal, and it's made my life so much easier. And so those kind of things help. I hope.
Yeah, they do. One thing I think we didn't bring up, yes, guys, Courtney is lighting you up in here. She is amazing. Yes, Courtney. Amber's dropping. Everybody is. So one thing that I think that we somehow skipped over, and I know we're going over in time, but she talks a lot about this 21 days, and she was real tight for 21 days. And it does take, here's my philosophy. It takes 21 days to create a habit. So if you're in here listening right now, or if you're coming in a replay, think about this: 21 days, which is why I do the typical, I call it the 90-day challenge, 21 days to create a habit. It really is. After 90 days, it becomes a lifestyle. And those of you, and there's a few of you in here, Courtney, Amber, you guys are in here supporting. Thank you very much. And I know that you guys can probably give an amen to this. Like, once you get through the 21 days, the 90 days, it becomes almost a lifestyle or a new normal. It's not as challenging as it was those first 2-3 weeks, now, and, food becomes fuel. That's something like Amber used to talk about, not Amber Haas in here, but other Amber. She used to talk about, how food just became fuel. It was just something that she used to fuel herself. I gotta look at the new comments. But the one thing that happened, like, especially with you, that I think that we failed to mention here, Kia, is after Kia was on for 21 days, and I'm going to say she's an anomaly here, okay? She lost 2 pounds a week, really, for the first 90 days. Like, there were a lot of times I was like, oh, dude, I've never seen this before. To a point where I was communicating with, actually, I don't know if Kia knew this, I started communicating with some of my coaches, and I was like, this is what's happening. And their response to me was, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like, she's on a roll. Like, as long as she's doing well and she can stick with it, keep it rolling. So we actually kept her on the same macro count, because mindset wise, and she didn't talk about this, but this was a big for her. For her, it was easier to stay on this specific plan. It was like she liked to fuel her body. And some of you may or may not get there. And what we did is she got a treat meal after 21 days and continued to lose 2 pounds a week for the next 90 days of a burger and fries every single week. And she continued to drop 2 pounds. Now, that's not always that was her choice. That's how I increased her calories. And then I think it was a burger, fries, and you liked
top ice cream.
Kia is, she's a creature of habit. Okay. So it was always a burger and fries, almost always. I gave her other choices. So don't trust me, I did. She liked the burger and fries. So she'd do a burger and fries. And then we added a cup of Halo Top ice cream, dairy free. Then I think it was 2 cups. Then we added some dark chocolate. We just kept adding. That's what I kept doing. And she just, once you get over the hump, I think is what I'm trying to say, and what Kia's trying to say, is you start till she learned to make it a lifestyle. And now, and she can even talk a little about this, her learning those tools, learning her body had her to a point when she moved into maintenance. And so, guys, by the way, she's been in more of a maintenance. She just does macros now. Well, I'm lying. We went back into a meal plan just recently, just because she needed it for the mindset. And again, Key is a creature of habit. She likes this, so she made the decision, let's go back to the meal plan. But for several months, she was tracking her own macros herself and doing very, very well. And she had learned how to sub out restaurants. Her favorite restaurant was Chipotle because she knew what she could order there. She knew the little things that she could do that fit into her macros, fit her meal plan, weren't going way outside the boundaries of clean eating. And again, Kia, I'm going to step back, but I just want to make sure like that was super important. Like you ate a burger and fries.
Yeah. It was great. It was fun to look forward to that every week. Is what I was doing, a cheat meal a week. But it felt like a clean cheat meal too. So I didn't even feel like this is not like McDonald's burger and fries. Like I was making a homemade burger on, I'm trying to remember what kind of bread. I was doing a grain-free bread that I found that I liked, and sweet potato fries, and Halo Top, which you said is a dairy-free ice cream. And it was delicious. But yes, I had other choices I could have gone with, but I liked that the best. But it was. Say that again.
Courtney was saying bye. Courtney was saying she was signing off. I just said thank you, Court.
Yeah, so that was definitely an encouragement, but staying really tight for those first 21 days is, I think, really, really important. You just got to do it and not make excuses. And remember that, Jules can give you the tools you need, but at the end of the day, like, you still have to do it. It's for you. You're paying and you are, this is your journey. And so you're going to benefit. It's only going to hurt you or benefit you. And so even though I was crying on the floor doing workouts for a while, I knew like I have to do this. I have to do this. And so I think just telling reminding yourself that this is what you want. This is why you want it. You got to get it done.
Yeah. I'm just going to revisit what you just said. And then I think we should, we'll open it up to some questions. And then I think you've got a few things you want to close it with. But Kia just said it. You have to want it for you. You have to want it for you. I can want it. Kia can want it for you. I can want it for you. But if you don't want it for yourself, all the tools in the world that I give you won't work. All the encouragement, motivation I give you, anybody gives you, it won't work. Like I personally can't want it for you. Like I can, but it's not going to help you. So I think like Kia can't want it for you. Any of your support people in here can't want it for you more than you want it for yourself. Am I right, Kia?
Yeah. Yep. And I would tell myself when I was frustrated with Jules because I had too much workout, I'd say, okay, I did ask for her help. I did sign up for this. So there really just were not a lot of excuses.
Sometimes I think, there might be a voodoo doll in some people that get pins poked in. There might be. I don't know. All right, guys. Anybody? I see there's a few of you left on here. If you've got questions, I am watching in the group. Feel free to drop them in the group, and Kia will answer anything that you've got. And Kia is not in our Facebook group, but I will keep an eye on this too. So if you watch the replay, feel free to hashtag again, replay, ask the question, and I will make sure, hi, somebody just said hi, that I will get it to Kia to answer. So yeah, if you guys got questions, drop them in there. I'm going to keep watching the comments. I think Kia's got a few things that she wants to close out with, but I'll make sure that she sees the questions if you drop them, okay? And I'm gonna let her keep. Oh, wait a minute. I got one for you, Kia. Can you see them?
I can. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the first one is I have trouble with water. How did you say you split it up to get it down?
Okay, so I have a 24-ounce Hydro Flask water bottle, and I have two tops for it, which is helpful. I have like the sports top for when I go work out, and I have just the top that comes all the way off, so you can chug water. So I do. Let's see if I can get this added up right. I do one whole bottle first thing in the morning before I have anything else. And then usually, and remember that it's all of your liquid. So if you, like I have oatmeal, so any liquid that goes into my oatmeal counts towards my water. Coffee counts towards my water. Tea, anything, count any of that. Your protein counts towards your water. So I think remembering to count that is helpful. It adds up. So then I'll have coffee. I do protein after workout, and then another bottle of water. And then a while later, 2-3 hours later, I do my third meal, which is lunch. And then I do between lunch and snack my third bottle of water. And usually I'll have another cup of coffee. I think there are 2 more protein shakes that are built into my meal plan. So those count, of course. And then between my lunch meal and dinner meal, I will have another bottle of water. And then usually I have tea in the evening, and that all adds up to the gallon of water. So I would say I'm on 6 meals a day. So I try to do my water between on the snacks. So hopefully that helps. Water first thing in the morning, and then between your heavy meals, I guess. So for your snack meals. And then if you add in, all of your protein or whatever other liquids you have throughout the day, that should add up. And then you're not drinking water super late in the evening. And then I see on here.
What ounce is your bottle?
24 ounces.
Okay. And guys, I'm just going to put a slight disclaimer. Notice that she only drinks coffee twice. Okay. So that's not like drinking a lot of coffee, because caffeine will dehydrate you. So it's like she drinks coffee twice a day. So it's the water that she uses for her coffee. It does count. But if you were drinking a lot of caffeine, now you actually have to start drinking more water to replenish the dehydration. But she's only having 2 cups a day.
Yeah, definitely. And the sizes, I think my typical cup of coffee is around 6 ounces. So it's, yeah. And I see another one on here. How many days a week did you work out, and for how long each time? So I'm on a 6-day workout plan right now. And my workouts, I think, vary from, on a short day, it's maybe 45 minutes. And on a longer day, maybe an hour and a half. And that's including like a walk or a run is included in there, plus your actual workout, whether it's leg day or another day is chest and triceps. So it'll typically be that, and then a HIIT class or a run or walk with lunges. And that was hard. It was hard to get used to working out that much. But I just quickly learned that I needed to get it done early in the morning. So I'll drop my kids off at school, come home. That's what I do first thing, get it done for the day. And it's not looming over me the rest of the day. And I have also at other times broken it up and done maybe my walk, depending on what my schedule is, my walk or run at early in the morning when I first wake up, a fasted walk or run, and then a little bit later done the rest of my workout. So I know that doesn't work for everyone.
Any other questions, guys? And I'm just going to add on to that too. So like, oh, I'm not sure. Let me see his show.
Yes. Do I have a goal weight? So I started at 264 pounds. My goal weight is 145.
And what are you at now?
And right now I am at 188. Getting there.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of high fives for Kia for that one. Okay. Just to add on about her workouts too. So, like I do with all of you, like, Kia and I worked out what she could do. So, when we established that she really could handle this, she could break it up because, the cardio and the workouts we know go, hand in hand, right? So, the more that we can do both of them together, it's just, that's what helped get Kia down the first, 50 pounds in 90 days. But we did work together on that. So some of you guys, you're like, if it's just not possible and all that you can do is 45 minutes, a day, then that's like a lot of we've talked about this, or I've mentioned to you in your Loom check-in videos. Oh, remind me to come back to that, Kia. To let me know, because we can definitely break things up. So, you just got to be open and communicate with me about what it is. And I think, as long as you're being super honest with yourself about what you can do, because here's the other thing that I'm going to add to it's interesting, because I don't think Kia thought she could work all that in. She just found the time. So, like, again, going back to, the excuses, I think you really, again, have to give that 21 days, correct me if I'm wrong, Kia, a shot to see if you really can do it. And if it's really impossible, then you got to let me know.
Yeah. And it's, most of the time, I think it's not about not having time. It's more about what your priorities are that are the bigger issue. And so that, for me, that was what it was initially. I thought, I don't have time to do this. I have 5 kids. And I realized, like, no, I do. I just have to decide, like, how badly do I want it? Is this more of a priority than, I don't know, sitting on my sofa for an hour in the morning drinking coffee? Or and I realized, oh yeah, this has got to be more of a priority.
I mean, we keep going, and but you keep bringing up really good things. So, like, again, guys, just hear what she said. It's about prioritizing, and what I picked up on. If you guys didn't pick up on it, and this is something that I actually challenge all of you guys to do, and I think I may have even done it on the last tribe call, is to write out your day, because how many minutes are you spending drinking coffee on social media in the morning, at night, that you may not even realize? Kia just brought it up. Do I want to sit and drink coffee, or do I want to get my, go work out? A lot of times I think if you really look at your days and dissect them, and, I still see Amber in here too. And she was one too that talked about this, and then she found the time. If you really look at your days and you see what you're really doing, and I'm guilty of it too, guys. I'll get stuck on social media. Granted, it's partly my job, but I'll get stuck there, and things don't get done. So really, dissecting your day and then prioritizing it, and almost coming up with what Kia talked about is a flow to your day. This is how my day is going to go. This is how it's going to flow, like, and chunking out the time and prioritizing. And Kia talked about prioritizing on the last call. I talked about it being putting the rocks in first, putting it on your schedule. And that's what Kia is saying, putting the rocks in first. The sand will follow around the rocks. So if you got a vase and you put the rocks in the vase first, which is your workouts, your meal prep, whatever that might be, like Kia was